Hey everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And y'all, I came in to talk about another angle of the case of Gabby Petito. That's a young lady that they found out there in the woods after the boyfriend had returned home without her and all of that. We all know the story, we all know the outcome. The angle that I want to talk about today is the parents of Brian, the young man who came back without her. There has been a lot of debate on social media about what role and what responsibility the parents had when they found out that this girl was missing. Now, y'all, I've been going back and forth over, as a parent, what I would do. Now, quite a few of you who've listened to my videos, you guys know that I have a 34-year-old son. So, like every mother, I love my son to pieces. And I was sitting here yesterday and I was thinking about what would I do if this were me? So, take yourself back. Your son comes home, okay? From what I'm understanding, the van that he was in, the white van, was Gabby's, okay? Not only that, this girl lived in their home, okay? She wasn't living with her parents. She actually was living with him and his parents, okay? So he gets back, no Gabby, and then he's home for a few days, and Gabby's parents are calling his parents because they realize that they have not heard from their daughter and they're asking for information. Okay. 10 days after he gets back, Gabby's parents, contact the authorities and say, our daughter cannot be found. We've not heard from her. She is missing. Now, in the meantime, what's going on at Brian's house, I believe that's what this fool's name is that he's there with his parents, you know, and while he's there, he lets them know he's about to take off and he's going hiking. Now, at this point, they all know that Gabby is missing, but he's going hiking. Okay. So he gets his backpack, takes off. The parents wait 3 days before they call the police to their home to tell the police that he's taken off going, quote unquote, hiking. Now, during this time, the police are searching for Gabby. As we all know, they found her. She is dead. Here's my thing. I'm not one of those parents that support their kids in everything that they do. I'm not willing to stake my life on what my adult children will and will not do. I know how I raised them. I know the morals and values that I put in them, but I'm not willing to risk my life on once they got out in the world what they would and would not do. First thing first, if this was my son, I would have been questioning him too. And quite frankly, y'all, even though you don't want to believe that your child would do something to his fiance, I would be a little worried that he did as his mother. And it would scare the fucking shit out of me to think that my son had possibly killed someone who he said he loved. And honestly, y'all, I don't think I would want him in the house with me because obviously his mind, if he did that, is in an altered state. And who knows if he thought I was going to tell on him, which my son knows that I would he off me? So, first of all, I would have made him explain every step of the way. And most importantly, I would have made him Explain why you're back and she's not. Where did you leave her? What condition was she in? And then, if the shit didn't sound right, and then after trying to get an explanation out of him, he tells me he's about to take off, and then I wait 3 days before I contact the police. Y'all, that don't sound right. To me, it's like they gave him 72 hours to get lost and made sure that he was lost before they called the police to their home. I believe that they all sat down, they planned it out, they probably gave him some money, gave him ideas of how to stay off the radar of the police. I don't believe that the parents are 100% innocent. And let's just say they are. Let's just say that when he came home, they believed everything that he said. Okay? He told them he didn't do it, they believed it. Y'all, even that is a stretch because I would have still kept going back to ask his parent, where is Gabby then? Can you contact her? Can you call her, Brian, to see if she's okay? We got her parents calling here. Why don't you put a call to her? Why don't you talk to the police? They keep saying that they're taking their lawyer's advice. But the lawyer works for you. Even fools who want to testify in their own defense, the lawyer can't stop them, you know? So, what I mean by that is if the attorney had advised me, I advise you not to make any statements, I advise you not to speak to the police, but my son had told me that he was innocent and I believed him, I would have told the lawyer, hey, wait a minute, you work for us. And, he has evidence or proof or whatever of his innocence. And I think that it's a good idea if we cooperate with the police because for me, not cooperating feels like we're hiding something. And I want to be totally transparent in any assistance that I can give Gabby's family. So to me, even their explanation about them not talking because the lawyer advised them to. Again, the lawyer works for you. Y'all, bottom line is I am not one of those parents that could support my kids in their bullshit. I'm just not. I was interacting with a young man on Facebook, and he said that knowing his mom, she would be the first person to turn him in. Y'all, we love them. Hell, we created them. We love them. But when you support them in their bullshit, you create a monster. I have a lot of young girlfriends who are still raising kids. They're in the heart of that raising. And y'all, I made mistakes too when I was raising kids. I did do my best teaching them morals and values and right and wrong and all of that. But sometimes when I watch some of my younger girlfriends and some of the things that they support their kids in, sometimes as the mother of adult children, excuse me, I'm sitting there thinking, you know, supporting your son in this or your daughter in this is going to come back and bite you when they become a teenager. You need to teach them right from wrong and owning up and taking responsibility for their actions first. If they do wrong, don't be that parent at school yelling and screaming at the teacher when you know yourself your child is full of shit. Let me tell y'all, one time my son got in trouble in school. They called me from work. When I got there, I was so mad at him that, first of all, he was up at school showing his ass. And secondly, that I had to leave work and miss pay that I needed to take care of his ass to come up to the school. I was so mad that when I got there, when they explained what he had done, I told them, okay, well, that's it. Send his ass up. They were looking at me like, mother, wait a minute. What he did is not, you know, uh, conducive to being sent to the juvenile detention home. I was like, he a teenager, he's 17, he trying to show his ass. He think now that I'm a single parent that he about to cut loose. Oh no, send his ass up. Give him about a year, maybe he'll come to his senses and he'll know how to act right. They laughed, calmed me down. My son was sitting there with his eyes bucked, but he knew I wasn't playing and I wasn't supporting him in that shit. Now the school got me together, calmed me down, but y'all, on the way home, I laid down the law to my son. I said, look, I hope you don't think you about to get started with some bullshit because you'll be homeless fucking with me. I'm now about to be the parent of a young man that every 5 minutes I gotta run up to the school because he's getting in trouble or he's up there doing stuff that he's not gonna do. I told him he had a choice: get it together or get the hell out my house. He got it together, y'all, because I did everything that I could to make sure that he wasn't getting out of hand. You know, you can't lay down and roll over and let these young people do what they want, because what you end up doing is you create a monster. And when I look at this situation with this young man, why did he feel after leaving Gabby that he could go home? Because did he not think that even his own parents would question his story? He felt comfortable going home, handing them some little bullshit story and them not riding his tail until they got the truth out of him. See, I would have rolled my son's tail until, like a witch, until he would have broke and told the truth or he'd have got up out my house. Now, maybe that's what happened. Maybe they were in there riding his tail and he decided to leave. I don't know. But the parents know, to me, it feels like the parents know more than what they're letting on. And when I think about the position that it put that girl's parents in, Gabby's parents, having to call them and beg for any information about their daughter, any information, it had to be hard to beg for information about your child's whereabouts. You know, she's out there because as a mother, this is how we're thinking. We're thinking, and that's as a parent, period. I'm not gonna just say as a mother, but as a parent, period. At night when you go to bed, or if you can even lay down, you're laying there thinking, oh my God, my child is out in the world. I don't know where she is. I don't know if she's safe. You will start imagining every horrible thing to the point where you literally almost drive yourself crazy. I can only imagine what it felt like during all of that for them to have to pick up the phone and call his parents and beg for information. I also, just like all everyone is saying on social media, I do not understand why the police were not monitoring him in any way, y'all, because obviously they would not monitor him at all. Now, we all know why. Okay, let's just keep it real. We all really know why. Because if his butt had been black, I don't think he'd have been at the house. But I just, once the parents reported her missing and there was no contact with her, and see, behind the scenes, there were a lot of things going on where her parents, you know, advising the police of weird things that now that Gabby was missing, that they realized, it felt weird at the time, and now it's even weirder now that our daughter is missing. The police were aware of all of that, but they still let him get away. Y'all, I'm going to tell you, if this is not white privilege, because y'all know if that had been a brother, he'd have been in jail. They would have found some trumped up charges to either monitor him or at least, or put him in jail. Traffic tickets, missing library card, they would have arrested his ass. And he would have not have been out able to run off and go, quote unquote, hiking. Y'all, that's some bull. And those parents, I don't know. I can't wait to see how this plays out, y'all. I want y'all to leave down in the comments what you think of this aspect of it. Yesterday, I talked about how they don't look for ours like they look for theirs. But today, just being out on social media, I started seeing everyone commenting on the situation with this boy and his parents. And I was like, yeah, you know, the parents, they got something to do with this, or they supported him, or they gave him some money to help him get away. That makes sense. You know, I was actually thinking this early on when we first heard about the story. Like, why did he feel comfortable going home? Y'all, you know how when we were growing up, and my kids are like this too. I know when I was younger and I would get in trouble, I was like, do not call my mother. Do not call home. Let me just suffer the consequences. Do not. And my kids are like that. They know how I'm gonna respond. So they do not want me to know what's going on if they did something bad or they messed up. They don't want me to know. This young man probably had killed someone but felt comfortable going home. Y'all, I don't know. I just don't know. Again, let me know down in the comments how you feel about this, your thoughts on the parents. And y'all, I am curious to see how this is all going to play out. And with that, I'm going to keep paying attention to it and keep y'all updated on how I feel about how it's playing out. So take care. Thanks as always for listening to my video, and you guys be safe. Bye bye.